Dear Abbess Saul, I'm sorry it has taken me so long to contact you. You'll be pleased to know that I have successfully arrived in Trevanza and made contact with Madame Curio. Unfortunately, she has not been as helpful as I had hoped. She sent us to Badger Creek hunting a dream heart in the wake of the Chaos Storm, which we successfully found. The battle for it was trying, and we have spent a few days recovering in Badger Creek. It felt painfully like wasting time, but battling the false Hydra was no mean feat, and I think we made good use of our respite. Constance, Shaw, and I went to investigate a strange occurrence surrounding the pair of them. When we first entered the Cathedral of Archon, both Constance and Shaw's blade began to glow. We attempted to recreate the event in a spar, but it didn't work. Suspecting that the presence of holy ground might be the cause, we returned to the temple. Our theory was correct. Constance is descended from the gods, and she glows faintly at all times, like starlight, but when we entered the cathedral with Shaw, her light turned a peculiar shade of green once again. Shaw's blade glowed in tandem. Soren was absent then, so it was no trick. We suspect it has something to do with Phyla's relationship with Archon, though why Shaw responds as well, we aren't sure. He had a vision while we were there, though, the image of a dragon destroying a mountain. The story eluded me. As you well know, dragons have not been part of my education, save for Azor Bale. Do you know the tale? We caught up with Emmy and Soren outside of Jewel Crawford's to ask if Soren might, but he doesn't. I attempted to do some research of my own, but the bookstore had no information on dragon. I did find a book about Phyla, and a collection of Felper legends. It is not frivolous reading, I assure you. I know you disapprove of such things now that I am no longer a child. I found it for Emmy. They seem lonely, doubtful of their place in the world and in their destiny. Their disregard for their own life frustrates me. I thought if I could understand them better, I might be able to get through to them. I told them, as you told me so long ago, that they were chosen, and chosen for a reason. They insisted that reason was to protect us. Noble of them, I suppose, but still. Seeing one so willing to die for another opens old wounds. But such things are in the past. I should not let them torment me so. I remind myself of your teachings often. I have a destiny. We all do. We were put on this path for a reason. We stayed in Badger Creek long enough to enjoy Brewer's Day, and long enough to allow Soren to court someone, an elven woman from the Weave named Violetta. They seemed to hit it off rather well, if their parting interaction was anything to judge by. Meanwhile, Shaw drank half the town under the table. I don't know how he does it. Combining alcohol with Clairvoyants has never ended well for me, but he seemed to have a good time, belching flames around the place. Even without the alcohol, Brewer's Day was more pleasant than I was expecting. We spent most of the day trying various foods, and then Emmy and Constance participated in a keg race, which seemed unwise to me, but I think they had fun. Soren pulled me aside while they did. He told me he respected my actions when we were searching for the false Hydra's victim, Isabel. It felt like he'd punched me. I know he meant well, but I failed to save her, Abbess. I let her down. If you were here, I imagine you would tell me this, too, was part of the plan. After all, we needed to find the Dream Heart, and the only way to do that was to kill the false Hydra. I'm not doubting, but I wish... Well, it doesn't matter what I wish, does it? We don't get what we wish for. But when Soren spoke to me, I wonder how many people told my mother the same thing. How many people praised her for her virtue and her courage. We came so close to our deaths fighting in Badger Creek. I came so close to being just like her. But also, he told me that he was trying to learn to be selfless, to learn how to help others because it was right. He asked me how I learned to be selfless. I explained, told him about my father's selfishness and storybook heroes that I grew up with. I didn't tell him that sometimes being selfless is just as bad. All the same, I think Soren might be selling himself short, and I think I might have misjudged him at first. That he would even ask me how to be a better person speaks volumes of his character. That he'd ask me... He thinks too highly of me. I'm going to let him down, I think. We set out for Trevanza again in the morning by ferry to bring the Dream Heart back to Madame Curio. I studied it along the way, and it is a strange item. Beautiful, strange. I believe the Astral Star used it to send me a message. I saw something, as if in a waking dream. A building with towers like claws, and a room shaped like an astrolabe. There was a light inside, contained in glass. It called to me, named me kin, though to my knowledge I have no living kin remaining. Curio warns me that it may be dangerous, but I have been receiving visions for a long time. It does not frighten me. I do not trust her to keep it. Madame Curio told me that the building is called the Severed Hand, located some day's travel to the south. I hope to convince my traveling companions to stop there on our way up the mountain. Though Curio has been largely useless and deeply vexing, she has at least given us some sense of direction. After admitting that she had no knowledge to aid us in our quest, she pointed us to an old friend of hers, who she claims had great and ancient wisdom. Curio calls her Old Bee. Apparently, we may be asked to do a favor before being permitted to access the top of the mountain where she lives. Curio suggests it will be benign, such as gathering honey, but I have my doubts. Now that I have put my thoughts down, I suppose I should start a letter
Oh, was that not it? Was that too soon? Oh no!
Is it too soon?
Dear Abbess.
I don't know what to do about that.
No, I think that's okay, right?
It's close enough. There was nothing else of importance there.
Oh.
It was the sign-off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
I don't know what's happening.
Fuck.
The only important part is
Okay.
We're live.
that
Okay,
Ezara...
we're live. Hello, all you magical elves and devils from the 9 hells.
All right, Lucy,
Good
what did we
evening.
miss?
Essentially, she was just saying that, like, we'll probably have to do a favor for Old B. Curio said it's not going to be a big one, but she doubts that. And also that she's never actually going to send that letter. She's burning that shit.
Okay.
All right. So, hello, all you magical elves and devils from the 9 hells. Good evening and welcome to this chaotic place we call the Chromatic Chimera, where the story's made up and the XP sure as hell don't matter. It never does, because I'm a milestone kind of guy. And I am this milestone kind of guy is the one known as Mr. Puddins, or Alex, whichever you prefer. And I'm the game master for this adventure so far, and for now. Welcome back to WovenRealm, a 13th Age independent broadcaster actual play series. We return yet again to the realm of Everencia with our wonderful cast, -1 tonight, with AJ as Constance of Eternal Trust, the Azamar Paladin, Chris as Soren Silverthorn, the half-elf bard, Sam as Stars of Emerald, better known as Emmy, the Felper monk, Lucy as Ezara Solaris, the half-elf cleric, and missing from the ranks tonight is Noir, who would normally be taking up the role of Shaw, the Dragonspawn fighter. Thank you for joining us for the 5th episode of WovenRealm. And as we last saw on this channel last time, the party has gotten some rest, and it's time to press forward. So that's where we kind of last left. You were leaving the shop and going to be gearing up for your trek to Goldfire with a detour towards the Severed Hand, because I guess it's on the way.
Do you know how far the Severed Hand is travel-wise from Trevanza?
Oh yeah, it's going to be like at least 5 days by foot. And it's by foot. There's no
Okay.
other way of getting there.
That's fun.
We need to stock up on any supplies or anything. Or...
Yeah.
You will need to stock up on supplies for your journey to Goldfire, yes. Actually have it written down here. So essentially, for every day of travel, you will need one set of supplies. And a set of supplies is essentially enough food and material to make a comfortable camp, and to have something to eat for each day. And one set of supplies in town runs you 2 silver pieces. It's not expensive.
Is that like a pop, or do you mean just for like a day's worth of supplies?
Yeah, day's worth of supplies, 2 silver pieces.
Okay.
You'd like just at any store, or like a general store or anything like that.
It's like playing the Oregon Trail.
Kind of. And so what can happen though is let's say you're in the so while you're wilderness traveling, setbacks can include losing supplies. And losing supplies won't get you killed. It just means you won't be able, if you camp without supplies, you won't gain a recovery back.
Okay.
But you can all nature type characters can like go out and, do survival things and, get supplies that way. So it's not like you're completely boned if you don't have any supplies. Like, you have methods to get them, especially when a certain character who's a druid joins the party. So when we're traveling too, I kind of wrote up some fun rules. We'll get into those in a little bit after we, get our stuff and role play leaving town. Camping on the road does not offer a full recovery. You only regain 1 recovery when resting on the road. To get good, decent rest, to gain all your recoveries back, you have to do that recovery bit. And you can't it's for resting in nature.
So if we rest at a campsite, we can gain 1 recovery back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Even like when you're dungeon delving too, as long as you got supplies, like you can rep
Okay.
camp and then gain a recovery back, and that's how you can get your recoveries back while out and adventuring. And then we'll get into the skill check bits in a bit here. We're still leaving town though. You're still in the treetops. You're probably shopping for your supplies now.
I would say we should probably get a little more than is strictly necessary. So if we think it's going to take, what did you say, 7 days? Should probably.
Setting out from Trevanza to Goldfire will take 8 to 10 days of journeying.
And we don't know how long we'll be at the Severed Hand.
Exactly.
Where I imagine won't necessarily have anywhere else to stop for supplies.
Actually, there's actually, depending on what route you take, we have the map up here. From Trevanza to the Severed Hand, you can actually, if you want to take a longer way, you could still take the road to Badger Creek, and then take the road from Badger Creek to Kolchak, and then essentially you could take the road from Kolchak halfway to Shiverdell and then duck into the swamp. Or you can do a straight shot from Trevanza to Kolchak, saves a lot of time, but you can still stop in town, rest up, get some more shit if you need more shit, and then you can go to the Severed Hand.
How many days to Kolchak?
It's about like 2.5, 3 days.
Do you want to start by getting like 5 days worth of supplies to get to Kolchak and then stock up more from there?
That sounds like a good idea.
Alright, I'll pay for it.
Alright, so that'll be 10 silver pieces for 5 days worth of supplies.
Oh, thank you, that's very nice.
You're welcome.
Well, I suppose we can head right out now that we have the supplies, yes?
Oh, yes, we definitely can, and I think we should now.
I would prefer to make haste.
Okay, did we want to stop back in Badger Creek or just do a straight trip to Kolchak, yes?
I prefer to take the fastest possible route. That would be directly to Kolchak.
Oh, but I did like Badger Creek ever so much.
I think Emmy is going to make a point of trying to get a more localized map.
Okay, you can definitely find one.
They're new to this area themselves, so yeah.
You can definitely find a map.
They feel way better with a map in hand.
Yeah, and that's not hard to come by. And I mean, these towns know like a lot of people travel through them, so finding a map for like as much as a silver piece is not hard to like come by.
She takes her time to make sure it's one that she thinks is pretty too, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
Family business, it's a point of pride.
Yeah, and you know what you can definitely tell which maps are nicer than the other ones. A little more detail done on some of the forests. Some of the maps are a little more accurate, you notice, with some of the location stuff from some of the journeying you did with Shaw. But you find a really good map for a good price.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm ready.
All right. Shall we head out then?
That sounds like a plan.
All right. To note, Shaw is moseying along quietly with you. So you make your way through you finish your shopping and you make your way through the wooden walkways of the upper canopies of the treetop village of Trevanza. You make your way to the familiar now wicker basket, where about a week ago you were setting out from Trevanza yet again on your first adventure together. Starting to seem like a regular thing now. That's the fun. So you begin making your way from out of Trevanza, and you walk the gravel dirt path up the road until it's time for you to veer off from the path. So you're going to leave the well-traveled, the well-beaten path. And it's not uncommon for travelers to do this, so no one really reacts to you stepping off of the main road. And you begin making your way through more thickets of woods and whatnot, but you're kind of in the open grasslands. So here's where we're going to kind of get into some of the skill checking things. So instead of like having like just each character being individually affected by making these survival type roles, the whole party will be affected instead. Kind of going to handle it sort of similar to how we did the social encounters. So instead of utilizing quick wit and smooth talk, characters are going to be utilizing survival skills, their experience traveling, and their understanding of the world around them to aid them in their journeys. So the DC is going to be affected by the environment, fatigue, weather, and other various factors. Let's see. Well, so basically there might come points where I'm going to call for skill checks. And what happens with that is that I will call upon a certain number of characters to step up. And you will describe how they aid the party in their journey. It doesn't matter, it's not any specific skill or anything. You just kind of tell me what they do to kind of make the journey a little bit easier, or at least try to make the journey a little bit easier for everyone. So what'll happen, let's see here. So when navigating traversing wilderness, skill checks will be called. This can represent your character navigating directionally, guiding the party through terrain, or aiding the party to pass environmental challenges. Each skill check will call for a number of characters to step up to the fray, to rise to the challenge and aid the party in overcoming whatever lay bare. The outcome of these skill checks will determine how well the party is able to traverse the wilderness. In order to succeed in a section of travel between the participating characters, there must be more succeeded skill checks than failures. And in the event where there's an even number, I have a system for ties as well, but we'll get there if there's a tie. So, feel free to talk amongst yourselves as you journey through these grasslands off the main roadway, as I kind of get everything ready for us here.
So, if I may ask a question of everybody, are we a party now? I know we are traveling together as a group and everything, but are we technically a party?
I believe that technically we fit that description, yes.
Ooh. That's so exciting. I've always wanted to be part of an adventuring party.
It's probably the least fun party I've ever been to, but I would guess that yes, we're a party.
You are so funny, Soren.
I am sorry that I am not more humorous. I shall work on it.
It was a...
It was a good pun.
Thank you, Ezara. Soren's just exhausted already.
You are very funny and very entertaining, Constance. I'm glad that you are in our party with us.
Oh, wonderful.
And he's like knitting something long and purple while we walk, not really paying attention.
Walking and knitting, that's a skill.
Yeah.
That is a skill, indeed. So the late summer breeze causes the rolling fields of tall grass to wave like a golden green sea almost. The sun warms you and makes for a refreshing journey. You have good weather, luckily, for your time out in the wilderness, and there are points where you gain ample opportunity to observe the wildlife of the area. It's probably best, though, as your journey begins to stray from the Queen's Road's dirt paths, and the footing becomes more rugged, to begin to navigate and make sure your course remains true. So I'm going to be calling up two characters who would like to step up and do our first wilderness navigation.
Wilderness navigation does not seem up Constance's alley.
I'll take a crack at it with my handy map.
There we go.
The party has not been outside.
Did you say you need two? I'll do
Yeah.
it. All right.
Okay.
Soren had a wilderness summer. He can do some
Wilderness
stuff.
summer.
Yeah.
Oh, Soren, Emmy, what are you doing? So it's kind of just open grasslands, rolling hills right now, a few sparse trees and timbers here and there. What are you doing to kind of aid the journey?
Soren did scouts.
First summer.
I think Emmy is using the map and just sort of double checking based on like the direction of like the sun and stuff that we haven't strayed now that we've left the actual path.
Okay. And how are you helping out, Soren?
So I think what Soren learned from his uncle is to be more proactive about intruding beasts. So I think he's not so much going to be navigating, but just making sure that we're not stepping foot into anything's like territory that could want to kill us.
All
So
right.
he's looking for footprints and shit like that, like markings on trees.
All right. Give me wisdom skill checks with whatever applicable backgrounds you might have.
Can I use friends in unfriendly places? Because my uncle
Yes.
taught me this.
Sure.
Amazing.
I will allow that.
I'll use Crafts of the Scrolls clan, because
Yeah.
her family were navigators. We add our level to skill checks, right?
I believe so. You add level, what's it
Modifier.
called? Modifier and background.
Okay.
That's
22?
wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. 16, 18.
So 22.
21 and a 22.
Ah, nice.
Nice.
Soren,
we go.
We got this. We
Let's
got
go.
this.
Soren, so you're observing some of the wildlife. It's pretty typical wildlife out here. A lot of deer, some wolves and whatnot, but any animals you encounter seem to be leaving you alone, and you're not encountering any super fantastic beasts or anything like that. Emmy, you're able to use your map skillfully, and as your clan has taught you, to navigate this wilderness in a course that remains steady and true. And with that, let's see. With your success there, Emmy, I'd say your navigation is you're able to buy yourself, you're able to get the party ahead in their journey. They get to get a day ahead. So we're going to shave a day off our journey here.
Clutch.
As Emmy,
Oh,
clutch.
nature team.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, me.
So yeah, feel free to Sora and Emmy, you're kind of like really leading the party through the path and through the wilderness here. What's it looking like?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I imagine suddenly we're like those two like sort of, I don't want to say like party parents necessarily, but we're like looking at the map and looking around and we're like talking to just each other and kind of ignoring everyone else. Like, no, okay, this way, now this way, like, I don't know.
Okay. And Soren, how are you?
It's all grass.
What's it look like as you're helping lead the charge?
I'll just like bend down where Ezara's at, and I'm like, if you peel back the grass, there's actually footprints, but they lead that way, so we should be all right.
Perfect.
Penny's just walking by in the background with her face like in the map.
All right. So the first day of travel goes by very well. So you begin making camp. What does it look like? You're kind of like you find like a nice little thicket of timbers to rest under, some trees to rest under, make your camp by, and you're setting up your camp for the evening. What's it look like as the party sets up their camp?
Ezara will make a fire.
Soren has lifted his one finger of the day, so
Nice.
He's telling stories and sitting on like some moss.
Oh, Constance, if no one else like takes the initiative, Constance will single-handedly set up camp.
We'll make a fire.
There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Emmy will work on like once the fire is made, she'll cook food for everybody because she's used to cooking for like a lot of people. But we'll also help Constance to like set up any like tents and stuff like that, so it goes quicker. Emmy's used to road life, so I think
Zara
it goes
will
quick.
carefully observe the camp setup happen. She has like some wilderness survival training because she always knew eventually this was where she would end up. But I don't know if she's ever actually had to physically do it before. She's like read about it. I don't think she's ever physically had to do it before.
She's got her first adult job after
Yeah.
college.
I mean, if like it would be noticeable, or if you want Emmy to notice Zara watching, she will absolutely be like, "Oh, would you like me to teach you how to pitch your tent?"
Actually, I would very much appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, here. So first you're going to want to take these stakes and put them in these points here. And Emmy will like walk you through. Like she'll let you do it all hands on, so you like actually get to do it.
Excellent. So, Ezara begins to learn.
I think this is actually probably the happiest any of you have seen Emmy for a while, because this is the longest we've been traveling on a road together, and like they feel like, you know, they're like teaching all these younger people how to do stuff. It makes them think of their siblings.
Aww.
So Emmy's like humming while she's like cooking afterwards and stuff.
Ezara will offer to help with the cooking, because that actually is something she knows how to do.
Ooh, Emmy would take you up on that.
Emmy, how did you learn how to do all of this? You seem like a natural.
Oh, well, I mean, my family, we would travel a lot. You know, we're one of the older sort of caravans down in Dragonsand originally, so I'm used to life on the road. It's nice to have some more company again, though. No offense, Shaw.
Shaw grunts.
It's, you know, just been the two of us for so long, and my home caravan was much bigger, so this is nice.
How many folk were in your home caravan?
Oh, well, I mean, not, like, including everybody and not just, like, my family, there were probably about 35 the last time I was there, but a few of us were out, taking their tail trails, as it were, to find more stories and stuff. So,
I see.
yeah, it depends on if anybody has, you know, come or gone since I left. Here, have some of these stew I made. It's not the best because we are, you know, just out here, but here.
Thank you. Ezara will eat the stew.
Do you have any siblings that you might miss while you are here on the road?
No siblings. Just me.
Well, then it must be nice to have the company too, yes?
Yes. I believe I have said this before, but I haven't had many friends in my life.
Oh, that is very sad to hear. I am so sorry.
But now you have 4.
Well, 3. We can continue talking, but
Constance is like counting. 3?
just say I've had too many friends. I'm kind of at like a quota right now, so I've got to like cut some to add new ones. So we'll work on it. I'm sure you all make the cut, but
I did not know there was a max capacity.
yes, stick around me, Constance. There's lots to learn. Lots to learn.
I am definitely finding that out.
You did seem to have many friends back in Badger Creek, Soren.
Yeah, friends.
Emmy like waggles her eyebrows at you.
Like I said, too many friends.
Well, I'm glad that we have all decided to stay together, at least for now.
Yes, being with all of you definitely makes being away from home much easier. I do miss my friends from back home, but spending time with you all is wonderful. Shall I extol your virtues?
That's alright. I think we're okay on that front.
Oh. Well, if
I would
you
love that,
like
Constance.
Oh no.
Until you stop her for like the next half hour, she will just follow behind Soren and start saying good things she notices about him or did notice in the past. Is like, you are such a fantastic storyteller, and you are so knowledgeable about so many things that I was unaware of, and I am very excited to learn from you.
Constance, is this common practice where you come from? Do you just follow people around?
Oh, I do not follow people around, but we do like to make sure everybody feels special, because each person is special and they have their own reason for being here in this world, and everyone should know that and feel that way.
Well, that is very nice.
It's actually a very lovely sentiment, yeah.
It actually felt really nice the last half an hour to kind of be hyped up for a while. I think you should all try it at some point, but...
I'm just thinking of The Good Place where they're like complimenting Michael for like 5 minutes. You're a nice height. You're commanding authority.
Alrighty then.
Amazing.
So with that, you rest. You take your watches at appropriate times, and the starlit sky on the open wilderness grasslands. It's a nice place to be. But unfortunately, you can't stay here forever. The next day comes and beckons you into the rolling hills you trek through. These sparsely populated by trees. But now, after some time's passed on your journey, you find yourself in places where the trees are growing closer together, where the vegetation grows thicker. The recent rain has left the ground soft. You can tell animals move through here and reside in here. Good idea to keep an eye out. The trees and brambles make it perilous to cross through here, and you do not want to get snagged and become easy prey for whatever calls this woodland its hunting ground. I'm gonna need 3 characters to step up here.
Oh boy. I you know what? I can do this. One of my backgrounds is hardcore parkour, so
Nice.
Exactly. The idea
Is it really?
yeah.
That's amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
obstacle course champion / hardcore parkour.
That's
I
amazing.
love that. That's so good.
Yeah, so the idea is just to let y'all get creative and find ways to use your bonuses. Just make a good case. So I've got Constance signing up for duty.
Duty.
Would my child of the Fae help me at all here? Have a connection with nature?
Sure.
Then I'll help.
If you can explain it when you're telling me what you're doing, yeah, I'm gonna allow it. But you have to be able to explain what you're doing.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah, no, it's not hard. It's just to make a good case. I need one more character.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of something besides just literally a navigator.
Yeah, because, well, you are in the forest now, so... There are advantages to being a cat in the woods, certainly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
The nose.
Yeah, I'm thinking, can I apply Guardian of the Caravan specifically to try to help keep us through, like, safe passage?
Sure.
Since now that we know there's definite signs of, like, some sort of unsafe animal, wildlife. Like, I'm essentially on guard duty to make sure we're not getting, like, ambushed or anything while we go.
Perfect. I will take that. So, yes. The 3 of you describe what exactly your characters are doing to aid the journey here.
Constance will kind of scout ahead, trying to find the best path through everything.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my roll was a 14, so I don't know how good that is.
That will be enough.
Oh, good.
Are there any other modifiers? Is it just the straight roll and our bonus?
It's bonus plus whatever skill, like I assign a stat based off of how you're describing what you're doing. And then usually it's wisdom, because wisdom, or intelligence, but if you're like doing stuff where it's like I'm smashing trees out of the way, like that, yeah, that's strength. And then it would be plus your level plus your background.
Okay, so Ezara, she is using all of the skills and tricks she inherited from her mother, hence her Child of the Fae background.
Okay.
And as you know, her mother was a ranger, was a hunter, and she's keeping her eye out for any signs of wild beasts, and she's using sort of the natural and innate connection a descendant of the Fae would have with the wilderness to enhance her sort of scouting talents.
Using your innate connection to the wilderness. I would almost argue it's charisma, but I would still allow wisdom here. But I would...
My wisdom and charisma mod are the same, so...
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, I think there's a case to be made for both stats here.
Plus my level is a 22.
All right. Yeah, that's going to be a success. So,
Oh, that's 20, just saying.
Fuck. All right, so the forest thicket is not a problem for the group to get through. Let's see. What does it look like as you successfully navigate through the forest here, through the brambles, and avoiding whatever nasty critters call this place home?
as Constance is like going ahead of everybody, she's ducking and weaving through the brambles, trying to like show everyone a good path. But she's also significantly smaller than some people in the group, so Shaw probably has a little bit of a tough time following where she's leading.
Shaw probably just walks through the brambles.
Probably. Probably.
It's okay, Noir. I understand you. I know what it's like to play big beefy boys.
Yeah. Ezara's gonna like pick her way through the underbrush, saying like, "Oh well, I know that species of bramble grows in softer terrains. We want to avoid that. Go this way. Here you can balance on the roots of this oak tree. They're huge. Just like watch your step there, because that sand is soft, and there might be animal dens down there."
Okay. And Emmy. So many E names.
I think Emmy hands Glaive their Shaw and will scale up the tree and is sort of following everybody from the top to make sure that nothing's like further behind us while we're sort of making noise like with Shaw crashing through brambles and stuff. And then every now and then I'll like sort of like, because I can see further out from up top, I'll just sort of shout out to like, "Oh, I'm going to southwest," like just sort of nudging anytime we get too far in the wrong direction.
Perfect. Yeah, you're able to avoid, like, you're able to look ahead and see where, like, all the, like, the animals would be, like, waiting in ambush, like, the giant spider den would be and stuff like that, and you're able to avoid those things. And you successfully make your way through the forest thicket, and you arrive back in the grasslands where your journey becomes much smoother for the rest of the day. Because of Emmy and Soren's previous successful navigations, you're able to reach Kolchak by the end of the day. And with your success here, let's see, what kind of bonus do we want to give you for your successes here? Your success there just actually, it helped you avoid wilderness encounters. That's what it did. I forgot. That's what I wrote in there. So you arrive in the small town of Kolchak. Let me pull up a descriptor for that one. Come on. Alright, splitting the distance between Badger Creek and Shiver Delve is the mining village of Kolchak. An aether well was discovered beneath the soil of what was originally a farming hamlet, and ever since, Kolchak has been steadily growing. The mines are currently independently owned by folks hoping to strike it rich on one of their parcels of land by finding an aether well. Some of the more jaded locals believe it is only a matter of time before the aether mining and drilling companies show up. It's quite apparent which buildings and homes have been in Kolchak for a long time, and which ones were hastily constructed by quote-unquote aether hopefuls, the locals call them. Other residents are concerned with impeding conflict as interests in a major aether deposit is in the middle of a very well-known disputed territory that can only lead to war. Kolchak gets its name from a halfling word that means magic soil, as the crops in the area yield large harvests and the soil always seems to be replenished after each season. Many of the original settlers of Kolchak were halflings, and let's see. That's about all I've really got so far for the town. It's not a very large town. It's kind of just, it's kind of almost just like a single lane up the road, and like in the middle of this lane is like a very large manor where the Lord Periwinkle Cadmium resides.
That name, Alex.
Hell of a name.
I love it. I love an Alex name.
I tried my best.
I miss Petra, y'all.
His name is just Blue.
Blue.
Light blue, dark blue.
Oh,
He's
call
just a
me
blue
Dee.
boy.
Now we only need like 3 more of them, and you've got a whole group.
Nice. I see what you did there.
So,
I get it.
So this is definitely a halfling town.
I understood that reference.
So definitely a halfling town. A lot of hospitality. There's, strangely enough, the manor also doubles as a tavern.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is there an inn or someplace open for like travelers, or do we just need to go make friends?
The Lord Periwinkle, I guess, opened the first bar in town, and somehow he became the boss.
Damn, you gotta respect that.
That's pretty excellent. Yeah, way to go, buddy. All right, well then, I guess that's the best place to go for the night, and then tomorrow we can get more supplies, right? Because we only got
Yeah.
to get to crew check. Crew check.
I think we should still have two or three more days left from what we got in.
You should have 3 more because you shaved a day off your journey.
But we'll need to be able to get back from there.
Yes,
so
we will
that's
need
the
more
next
supplies.
And we don't know
Yes.
how long we'll be in there.
Yes. So you enter the Lord Periwinkle Cadmium's manor, which the ground floor is a tavern, and it's a really well done up place. It's pretty well furnished and fancy for a roadside inn in the middle of this small mining village. Despite the fancy appearances, there are definitely rather rough and tumble locals who do come to Lord Cadmium's manor to drink. And behind the counter is a rather fine-looking, fluffy-tuffed halfling man, and he only wears these fine blue. He wears a fine dark blue doublet, buttoned all the way up to the top, and he's pouring drinks and serving them from behind the counter. And he even has like the fancy cape. I guess this lord isn't too good enough to serve booze.
What time is it when we roll into town?
It's like, the evening when you roll into town.
I will approach the counter.
And Lord Periwinkle kind of leans up on the... it's a small, short counter. This was built for, like, halfling folk, so... And he's just like, oh, travelers, I see. And what can I get you?
We were wondering where in this town one might go to spend the night.
Well, I got a few rooms available upstairs if you got coin.
How much for a room?
Well, 5 silver pieces, because these rooms are in high demand. May I interest you in a drink, hospitality, a meal?
Well, if we would like, everybody, we can bunk together again. That would make things cheaper all around.
I don't
Yes.
share rooms.
3 rooms then, please.
That seems fine.
Well,
15 silver, please.
who else is sleeping alone then?
If it's you and I and Emmy and Shaw.
Yes, Sean and I will bunk together again.
Oh yes, right. I forgot how to count momentarily.
Evan's the best of us.
And
It's been
then,
a long day on the road.
and then you're also handed like a food ticket and a drink ticket as you
Ooh.
purchase your rooms.
That was 5 silver.
A lot of these inns kind of have that, where it's like, oh, you get like free food and drink with the room.
Put 3 silver down on the room.
All right. You get your keys, you get your meal tickets, and you're on your way to the buffet.
Oh yeah.
It's a halfling
Excellent.
buffet. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Vegetarian options.
Yes, so many vegetarian options. 'Cause it's these halflings.
Emmy doesn't care.
I have never seen so much abundance of food laid out for everybody to just have.
And a halfling like kind of just is like comes up behind you. All right, are you gonna get some food or I'm trying to get squeezes past.
Just go ahead. Just go.
Oh, yes, please, go on ahead of me. I must take some time to consider.
And there are options. You got the halfling onion soup. You got tough bread meals. You got salads. You got you name it. There's just all kinds of food here. Lord Periwinkle does not shy away from feeding the patrons of this tavern well.
Nothing else quite like halfling hospitality.
Well, I suppose we should pile up on everything. An army marches with its stomach, after all.
Shaw's already halfway through the buffet as you're saying that.
He does the Ron Swanson where he like takes one off and then takes the whole tray.
Yep.
Amazing.
There are probably some form of deviled eggs here.
Excellent. Yeah, Emmy's like stacking her plate a bunch, and then we'll go sit and medicate at the table
Oh, yeah.
before eating.
I will take a reasonable serving of food.
Okay.
Unlike what real life Lucy would do,
Right.
Ezara understands restraint.
So it's not as entertaining as the Dancing Cat, but it's a nice tavern. Especially, I guess, when you double up as the Lord's Manor, I guess it's gonna be a nice tavern, huh? So you enjoy your meals. You can feel free to take some moments with each other during your meals, if you like. If not, we can just mosey on over to the next day of journey as we then go into the swamplands.
I don't really have anything in particular.
Yeah, nothing pressing that I can think of.
Any symbols or people that I would recognize around as we walk through the city?
It's like a small village, I guess, less of a city. But yeah, go ahead and give me like sort of like a roll. I don't know what kind of roll you'd call it as your observer.
Friends in low places.
Sure.
Thanks for the raid, Nymeria. We love you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Love you.
Hi.
Ooh.
12.
12. You notice a common symbol. That classic eye. You know it when you see
The
it.
best one.
God, fuck.
It looks like Lord Periwinkle might also have some friends in places.
Alright, so let's go, Lord Periwinkle. Okay. Alright,
This explains a lot.
that's all.
Alright, so you begin making your journey the next day. You wake up, get a breakfast. Do we want to supply up for the journey ahead? Was that on the list of things to do?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Alright, how many supplies do you want to buy today?
How many days is it to Shiverdelve?
We're going to Shiverdelve after we go. Well, we don't have
that's
to get...
where we catch a boat from, right?
Well, you
Well,
could
we
just...
have to go to the Severed Hand by land, I think, right?
Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah,
can-
we do. But I want to, however long it is to get from Kolchak to Shiverdelve, and then like add extra for however long we're going to be in the Severed Hand.
Okay, so or the option could be, it almost would take more time to get to Shiverdelve, get a boat, stop at Severed Hand, because you
Well,
have
no,
to
I want to
stop-
stop at Severed Hand on the way. I don't want to like get a boat and then go to Severed Hand.
Okay.
So you're looking. So it sounds like you're thinking we should get enough to get to from the Severed Hand to Shiverdale.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's only like a day to the Severed Hand from here. It's like about 2.5 to Shiverdelve, and then the boat ride would be like 2 days to Goldfire.
So I say we get at least 8 days just to be safe.
Oh, it's also worth noting, when you take transportation that isn't by foot, you're considered supplied.
Oh,
Worth
okay.
noting.
Okay.
I
There
still
we have
have 3 left
concession
over. We
stand,
could we could get 5 days worth of supplies again because I still have 3 left over.
That'd make 13, yeah.
Okay.
That would make 8, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I was doing math wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Reverse
Yeah.
math.
Alright, so how much is it for, 5 days you said?
So 10 silver pieces for 5 days of supplies.
Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley.
So who wants to pay for that? I can. If nobody else wants to.
I'll do it.
Oh, I thought it was 10 each.
No.
Oh.
It's
I already took it
The
out of
group
my
rate.
money, so it's okay.
Alright.
So Constance pays for the supplies, you make your way out of the general store, and you head down the road. And you eventually, you begin, it's not a, you get to use the road for most of your journey through the grasslands here. But then the road, the ground starts to get a little soft, and this is where you need to turn off to start heading towards the Severed Hand after a few hours. The ground grows soft as you feel your feet sink into the soil as it attempts to seep into your footwear. Water's not warm at all and is unpleasantly cool. The land around you smells of peat and moss, and you hear the trickles of creeks and streams running into the reed-barriered and duckweed-covered ponds. Curse you, duckweed. If you fucking duckweed. If you observe the water long enough, you will see something surface for a moment, disturbing the peaceful surface of the pond.
It's duckweed. Destroy it.
All manner of animals vie for your ears. Their choruses just trying to overcome each other's. The weather has grown cloudy and a breeze sways the branches of the trees growing within the swamp. As you traverse the bogland, rocky outcrops and karsts of limes stand within the swamp. their bottoms corroded by the naturally acidic environment. After any traveler in the area knows this is prime bunyip territory, and everyone and their mums knows about ogres and their swamps. Best to get to your destination with no delay. I'm gonna need 3 characters again.
Fuck.
Okay, I guess I can. I'll sacrifice myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do it.
What are we
as well.
rolling for again?
I can do something, but I have to figure it out first.
All right. So
I think this will work if I can
You are-
justify it.
you're in the swamp, mate, and you need to
Okay.
traverse the swamp.
I'm going obstacle course champion again.
All right. So what is Constance going to be doing exactly?
Trying to carefully pick her way through the swamp without like getting her legs sucked in, schlooped up.
Yes.
Nice.
We got a sloop in.
There you go.
All right, give me that roll, Constance.
Jeez, rolling like crap. 14 again.
That is not going to pass this go around.
My leg gets schlooped.
All right, Ezara.
So Ezara firmly and completely believes that she's here because of the Astral Star. She's wrong, but she is here for another reason. That may have some effect on this. So she is going, and she still has the dream heart in her pocket. So she's going to search for that ephemeral connection she felt in that vision and see if it can guide her to her destination.
I'll just call that a success because
Hell yeah!
because there's narrative reasons why that have yet to be explained that will be explained. So Ezara, the heart, as you're kind of focusing on the heart of dreams, the purple waves of energy pulls through the brainy bits on the bottom of the heart as it pumps for a moment. And you hear that voice again that you heard in the vision before. Familiar, yet not a voice you know. And it's just, Ezara, you've come close. You're nearly a hand's grasp away. Continue forward. And I need one more character. We're at 1-1 right now, so
Yeah.
this is the make it or break it point, folks.
So after, a little ways, I'm going to start having Soren kind of test the bits that are solid with his feet so
Okay.
people aren't sinking in. And then he's going to cast Arcane Mark and just mark all the solid ones for people behind him so they can
Beautiful.
see it.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I'll give, for the creative use of the spell casting, I will give a +1 to your roll for bullshit reasons. I don't know
What stat am I rolling?
you're using your spells. Is that charisma?
Yes, because I have a feat to convert it to charisma.
Okay. So yeah, then I'll allow you to use your spell casting stats since you're using magic.
Sick. Oh, that's good. 22.
So Soren, as you're, lighting up the path with the spell stuff, Ezara's just kind of this way. And it's just, okay. And Soren, you're able to, light up the path, and as you're lighting up the path, you run by Constance, pull Constance out of the, out of the murky, gunky mud water, I guess it is.
Don't get schlooped, dear.
Oh, I am terribly sorry. Thank you so much for coming to my aid.
Soren to the rescue, and I'll just pull her up.
Constance's
Indeed.
pretty white and blue boots are just brown now.
Oh yeah,
I'll
gross.
prestidigitate them for everyone when we get out.
Nice.
Emmy is staying in trees as much as they can. that swamp gunk is never coming out of her fur.
Oh god, no. So, eventually, after a few hours of traversing the swamp, guided by the map from both Ezara's vision and also guided by the skillful navigation of the party, you arrive at the towering ruins of the Severed Hand. Guided by the Astral Star's cryptic words, the Clairvoyants take a moment to take in the sight of the crumbling towers. You draw deep breaths as you prepare to enter the stone ruined building onto a stone that's built into this stony ledge that's rising from the swamp. As if owing to its name, the towers of the hand seem to grasp to the heavens, like this It does. It looks like a massive hand just reaching from the earth itself, as if the moon were its lost love. It stands as an ancient testament to a time long lost to the ages when elves ruled this land. A wood drawbridge lies across this gorge that allows access. This gap is filled with murky swamp water a ways below.
Yep.
You notice the sounds of animals and the wind rustling leaves grow faint as you get closer to the crumbling ruin. With only a prayer to go on, the Clairvoyants prepare to enter the Alphenheim ruins of the Severed Hand. And that's where we'll go to a quick break here.
Woo!
I'm scared.
Alright. We'll be right
Thanks,
back,
I hate
everyone.
Hydrate!
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard, to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Okay, we're back.
We're back? Okay. Hello, everyone. So, we're not exactly diving into the ghosts of Alfenheim, of the Alphenheim Empire. The tech hags have been striking tonight, making things difficult, and we don't want to keep wrestling with softwares and hardwares and whatnot. And also, I was taking a look at this battle that they're going to be running into, and I've also realized I really need to adjust the difficulty if they're going to be down one.
I'm looking at this map. I have concerns.
So instead of trying to forge forward and perish in fire, we're going to wait, and we'll be back with Episode 5, Part 2 next week. Thank you, everyone, though, for joining us. Thank you, Nymeria, for the raid. Yes. We love you forever and always. And thank you, everyone, for stopping in. Big shout-out to Pelgrane Press. We are the 13th Age Independent Broadcasters. And if you enjoy what you see here, we've got a pretty good stream of content. Just jump in the Discord, check out the sketch. See you next week.
Sketty.
This map.